Greetings, guys. So I hope to make this video one of the most important investment videos that you're going to make over your lifetime. And that might be a big claim, but if you look at my channel, not a lot of videos go public anymore. That's because I mostly deal with my patrons and I mostly put out all my content to them. And also those people know that I am launching a product, and I'm going to get into that with this video as well. But basically, I'm asked a lot by the general public or people that know me, what is going to be my strategy going forward for the next crypto cycle, some of the outlooks that I see, general outlooks, and also some of the claims I make in this video I actually discovered today. This is going to be some pretty big claims, but it became apparent to me today, and like some concepts that I thought were further out actually are coming forward. There some innovations that I thought would be further away are actually coming forward and happening sooner than I expected. So we're definitely in some kind of human transition, and also there's global events, but I'm not going to go into that. But I'm going to emphasize right now some ideas that I don't think this video will be one of those videos that I think will give you some ideas on concepts that are not available to the public yet, or that the public is not generally aware of yet. And even in some of these concepts, even multimillionaires are not aware of. Like there's channels like the George Gammon channel that I like to listen to, and there's also these channels. These people have hundreds of millions of dollars, but they tell you outdated strategies, and I'm going to give you an updated strategy on specifically some specific items, and I'm going to actually go into that right now, just to get into the details. So over the next 3 years, now this particular play that I'm about to outline isn't really over 3 years, but I do expect this to mature at some time. Now, gold and silver, right? A lot of people say to buy gold and silver as a strategy to protect themselves from inflation, etc., and as well as Bitcoin. Well, I don't think gold and silver are a viable option anymore, and this is something that came to me today in my mentality. And if you want to know the details, the scientific details, and you want to know the company details, etc., watch the episode 68 on Peter Diamandis' channel. Peter Diamandis is a billionaire, and I often find that the best knowledge comes from billionaires, not the people who have hundreds of millions of dollars. That's why I usually follow billionaires, because billionaires are ahead of the people who have tens to hundreds of millions of dollars. The billionaires actually have that inside knowledge. And if you watch this episode, episode 68, you're going to get a clear idea on why gold and silver will no longer be scarce on this planet, because we have some innovations that have, I thought that gold and silver would not be scarce from something like robots going into space and pulling satellites and putting them into orbit and mining them. And I know that would be further down the line. Like that would be 20 to 40 years down the line. So I was like, okay, so gold and silver will not be scarce in the long run. So crypto will be the only source of technology that could provide digital scarcity, or to provide any kind of scarcity, because technology makes all things not scarce, especially with the concept of artificial intelligence. When artificial intelligence comes around, gold and silver won't be scarce, because when AI is super cheap, all the labor and the ability to do anything moves towards the margins, moves towards the cost of to get a robot to do something, or the cost of energy. So gold and silver will go to the cost of energy when we have artificial intelligence. Well, I was thinking that the scarcity factor of gold and silver would be like 20 to 40 years out. But now with this episode, I'm actually seeing that, there's going to be large supplies of gold and silver that's going to be released on the market pretty soon. And one of the reasons why that is if you watch the details of the video, I'm just going to provide an abbreviation here. But the basic emphasis I'm trying to make here is that crypto is the only thing that's scarce, and it's through technology, a program scarcity. That's the only type of scarcity that could potentially exist in a world of abundance, or in a world where technology allows for us to make anything move to the cost of energy. So what has happened is we have something called quantum diamond electron excitation discoveries in the quantum signature realm, and what that allows for is basically we can get precise fingerprinting of the entire Earth, right? And what this allows for is you can create a fingerprint of every single square meter of this planet using this quantum diamond electron excitation methodology that has, it's basically using quantum computers and quantum methods to map out the Earth. And what this allows for us to do, and these new capabilities allow us to do, is provide a density map of precious metals on this planet. That means that we can go to any specific square meter on this planet. Now, this method is not finished, right? But it's in the, for me, like, it was one of the later questions in the video, but this is not far from being accomplished. It's not even going to be that difficult to do based on this using an the electron excitation fingerprint method. But it will provide density maps, and so we will get signatures of precious metals, and we will know down to the millimeter where the gold is, where the silver is, where any precious metal is, even in the ocean bottoms. So that's the key here, guys. You know, our planet is like 70% water, ocean, and before this technology, a lot of this was not accessible. Well, this is huge swaths of gold and silver that will be discovered and other precious metals in the oceans. I don't know how countries will figure this out, but it will be detectable by using things that could be boats that can be on the top of the water, and and they'll be able to detect it all the way down 7 miles or certain depths into the ocean. And there's also signature maps. So this is a side kind of capability from this technology, but it will also allow for providing exact GPS locations without needing the communication with satellites. So each square meter of the Earth will have a fingerprint, and so you can know exactly where you are. And these are the same kind of things that exist in bird populations or whatever. That's how they've navigated the globe. You know, the birds, they have quantum capabilities in their brains. This is things that interact with their, it's the magnetic fields in the Earth. I don't want to get too much into the science on this, but basically these breakthroughs mean gold and silver is not scarce, and it's, the only thing that's going to be scarce is something that's programmable like Bitcoin or crypto like Ethereum. So crypto is the only space that can exist with potential scarcity. There's no other place, and everything I see, all science, all methods, all computer science, AI, everything keeps pointing to cryptocurrency being the best location to put your money. I know it's been a disaster. Like, okay, so where we are when this video comes out is we are, we're like, this is the distance from where we are right now to this bear market. And if we look at the previous bear market, you can see that we're getting pretty close to the territory where things start to go crazy. As if the current period matches the previous period, it goes through these cycles, and there's even one down here that you can't see. But if this cycle matches, we're almost done with it. And we're in this period of extreme boredom or boredness, because this was a long period, like 2+ years of people who have forgotten what it's like to see cryptocurrency perform well. People, like, in this period of time that we're in right now, this period of time where we are right when this video is being produced, people are forgetting what it's like to see crypto do anything, because it's never gone up in a very long period of time. It's been very boring, and it's been very painful, and so people are beginning to forget that what it looks like when crypto performs, and that's where this video is coming out. So there's gonna be a lot of people that probably ignore even this video, but if things match up, not only from a timeline perspective, this is where the video is coming out. Look at this. Look at this, where we are. This is what from a timeline. If it matches, this is about the optimal time to start really consider dollar cost averaging, etc. But everything I learn about the world continuously reinforces this position. And I try to challenge myself all the time whether or not crypto will perform. But everything keeps reinforcing that worldview that, yes, crypto is... I challenge myself all the time, and I would take any challenge to try... Like, the only thing I could potentially see that would stop crypto is if the government's just banned it and shot people if they used it. That would be like the only way I could see of it, them banning it in the long run. But because the technology is so useful, the way it works with artificial intelligence, and the way it provides digital scarcity when the world is going to lose a lot of scarcity, considering gold and silver in fiat, these things cannot provide scarcity. Gold and silver can't protect you precious metals can't protect you. All the type of metals that are used in batteries, etc. Even uranium. Like, these things are not scarce. With when certain technologies allow them to be easier to discover, and you can find huge quantities based on those videos that I discussed. And you should watch that video. You should watch episode 68 of Peter Diamandis to get to really understand some of the breakthroughs that are going on, and will change that. All right. Moving on, don't bet against chip producers. Another thing that I see from these millionaires versus the billionaires. The billionaires are still willing to bet on America. Billionaires still believe that America has a future. Yes, I see that our politicians can be idiotic and do stupid things, but the millionaires, they constantly talk about how America doesn't produce anything. Well, I would wager that America produces chips, and that's all you really need to produce. I'm not, that might be, I don't really believe that statement, but producing energy and producing chips, right? You need to produce energy and produce chips. And that, to me, is what is going to equal the greatest wealth in the future. In my opinion, chip production is wealth. And you can see that America is like a third of the difficult chip production, not these two types right here. I would watch Valuetainment. He put a video out of this video. If you guys want to go into depth on this, Valuetainment, he's a great channel, and he goes into depth on the chip discussion. And it is also one of the incentives of why China wants to invade Taiwan. I don't think they're going to capture this particular chip production by invading Taiwan, but this, that's one of the incentives. Is that, dictators see that they feel entitled to Taiwan because of the 100-year agreement that has ended. But they might think that they can capture this. But dictators often think they can just capture capitalism. But in reality, that's not the way things unfold. If China does invade Taiwan, it's going to lose these production capabilities. But that's the incentive. That's the carrot on the stick, so to speak, for why the Chinese want to invade Taiwan, and they probably likely will. But the chip producers, America is one of the strongest chip producers, and therefore they are producing wealth by having that capability. Chips are difficult. They're very scientific and very knowledge based, and there's a lot of knowledge there. It's not like anybody can do it. It requires a lot of knowledge and a lot of procedures that are held within individual companies, very sophisticated processes. Not anyone can produce these chips. So that is who's going to capture the world's wealth in the future. It's going to be the chip producers, because that's going to be tied to artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence is going to be built on chips. Why do you think that NVIDIA surged recently? NVIDIA surged recently because we're going through an AI revolution. Well, the chip producers are going to be where the world's wealth is, because it's going to move the cost of goods to the cost of energy. And so the chip producers, such as America, the people that the people in the category of 10 to 100 million who bet against America and say America doesn't produce things anymore, it's over, quote unquote, financialized. In reality, it's not that America is over financialized. You want to be producing chips, and that's what America is producing. It also has a lot of oil production. So America also produces a lot of food. So I would not bet against America. It produces a lot of chips. It produces a lot of food. It produces a lot of energy. Those are the killer things for the future. I would not bet against America in relation to other countries. And these chip producers, that's who I would not bet against. And I just wanted to put that section there because I see a lot of these channels. Now, we do have a bad future where we are specifically in this video. It looks like the macro picture is pretty dirty. At this particular time that this video came out, Jerusalem was invaded by Hamas and the Palestinian major party, the Hamas party. And so it looks like the world's going in an unstable direction. And so that's just that general picture of pessimism, and also the global macro picture is just not looking good. And also we have deleveraging of the banks, etc. I can go on and on and on. But I would, in the future, when we get past this negative period of time that we're in, when we get past this deleveraging, I would not bet against the chip producers. That's the emphasis I'm trying to make. And that means that those chip producers are going to be the wealth creators, the wealth preservers, the people who have the highest wages will be those who produce chips, because that is going to be the greatest tie to wealth, in my opinion, as far as locations go, etc. All right. Now, okay. So finally, okay. So in this video, I'm trying to emphasize here that if you want to play it safe, crypto is going to be the place, but obviously things take time. So if I was to throw money into some location to preserve my wealth, it would be crypto for the long run. Once again, because of the concepts I previously discussed, gold and silver will no longer provide a safe haven asset at some point. There's very smart people like Mike Maloney who still believe in gold and silver. But, up until today was when my mind changed for gold and silver. Because of that video with Peter Diamandis, I realized how much gold and silver will be unlocked using those quantum techniques. My mind changed today. Gold and silver, they're going to find huge quantities of it. Because using this fingerprinting methodology from the diamond electron excitation, they will discover, I'm telling you guys right now, they will discover a way to signature beneath the mantle or beneath the crust of the earth specific materials. Now, you can call me crazy to think that, but I follow science closely, and up until today, I've been someone who's accumulated gold and silver, but no longer. I will no longer do that. All right, and that's one of the things that caused me to just produce this video, because I was like, wow, this is something that people need to know. So I would highly suggest watching that video. All right, but now finally, the big banks they're smart. They're stepping into crypto. These things were done about a year ago or so, but the JP Morgan and BlackRock are collaborating to move crypto assets on, move assets, collateralized assets onto the blockchain. There's a reason, guys. There's a reason these people, these billionaires, are investing and putting their business models and their interrelationships into crypto. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is the crypto space will grow by 10,000% because why is this? Why will crypto grow by 10,000%? Why is this the greatest place in the world to grow your wealth? Well, not only now do we know that gold and silver is not going to provide that protection, so it needs to go somewhere. It needs to go to a place that's actually scarce. I would say beachfront property. That's another thing that is kind of scarce. There's only so much beachfront property, but also you need something that's programmed in, because technology will make even beachfronts cheaper. It will find a way. I'm telling you, technologies like the technology that we're going through, the technological revolution that we're going through, is causing many things that were thought of to be scarce to not be scarce, because we figure out new ways to do things. The world is changing rapidly from us learning how to do things. So why is crypto going to grow this much? It's because of assets moving on chain. I've been making this claim for years. I've been in the cryptocurrency space for years. I've made myself financially independent through crypto because I understood this concept, and it still has not happened. These people are catching up to me. I'm the one who beat them. I beat these people by understanding these concepts. I'm here to tell you what's going to happen. Assets will move on chain. Understand this. What do I mean by this? What is BlackRock doing? What is JP Morgan doing? They are moving assets, real estate, stocks, assets, anything that is an asset, on chain, onto blockchains. Why are they doing this? Because you can automate the services provided. This is simply moving from paper-based systems, which is our current bank systems, right? If you have current paper-based systems, yes, they use computers to do it, but it still works like paperwork. The crypto system is automated. It moves it into the computer space. It makes assets digital. It makes assets capable of automation. This is a very important concept to understand why all the world's assets will move onto blockchains. It's not to move to a centralized ledger for a CBDC. Governments might try to make that happen. That would be a nightmare scenario. But that's the thing we should all watch out for. Society needs to understand these concepts. But all the assets are going to move on chain. It's inevitable because it allows for automating these relationships, and it's much more efficient. It can reduce massive amounts of costs. This is why it's inevitable. And I've tried countless times to prove why crypto will not succeed, and I cannot make it happen yet. I will take any information I can on why crypto will not succeed, right? I always try to listen to any point of view that challenges my point of view. But what I see is that this thing is going to get a lot bigger, and we're right here. This video is trying to emphasize this is the life-changing moment for you. All right, so finally, my crypto strategy. What I'm going to do, what I am doing, is I am launching a trading bot, or it's not a bot, a trading bot. It's actually an artificial intelligence, or right now it's math. And, it's all artificial intelligence is, Anyways, but right now it's math. I would call it closer to math than an AI. Because it is just a bunch of math, but I am adding machine learning on top of it and eventually, but right now it's still useful. It's closer to the math. But what it will do is this app that I'm launching is it's going to have several services, and it's going to provide something like this. So there's this project called Hypercycle. This is one of the readings, and it says, whether or not it's a strong project to buy or sell it. Using the math, and it correlates based on the fundamentals. I'll explain how this works later, but I'm explaining what services will be there and what I'm using as my strategy right now. So it basically puts out a buy signal, the intensity, and the information as a service of all the. So you don't have to chase down a million different sources. I've already paid a guy who runs down the information for an individual project, and it runs like that way. You could do your research quickly in the app that I'm launching, and you'll say, this is a strong project. I'm gonna you'll be able to look at the sources for all the different information, like how many team members there are, PhDs, etc., all the details of market cap, inflation, etc. All that detail, all that information will be provided in the app, and and this is something I'm consulting as well. And what it's going to, another service that it's going to provide is the analytics, the math, and the correlations between the math output and this. This is what you want to see is strong signals, and it shows the performance against this little black line. You guys will get all of this in the app. It's going to show the performance against the market. And what you're going to want to see is a project perform like this. That's going to show that, and then see the bot. The bot is so new that there's no signal right here, so it's giving some time to mature. But all of these services will be available. What this is the readouts plus the performance, so you'll be able to compare the mathematics, and also my machine model will compare as well, and so it will correlate to stronger and stronger signals for users. It's going to provide analytics for users to correlate to strong signals being some projects that outperform other cryptos. So I'm using this specifically for myself, and I'm making it available to the public to use as well. So what it's going to do is provide strong signals where you'll see huge spikes and you'll see huge drawbacks, and you'll be able to see some strong signals like this one that say time to sell, time to buy. There will be the time to sell, time to buy. There will be long-term buys. It's going to have all that stuff, all the signals that you want available, and when it launches. All right, so how it works. Those are the services provided. This is going to be how it works. Well, basically, it will analyze projects that are in the data set, and this is standard deviations on a daily performance, and projects like this are the ones that make you rich. The ones that, so it's going to show these for the long-term bot. You're going to see these, and these little outliers right here in the long run. Those are the ones that you want to hold for the long run. It's going to point out the ones that correlate fundamentally. So, they may not perform, but it's going to say whether or not a project looks like these. The winners, right? Like these little projects that are winners on the daily performance in the long run, like something like this has, been under observation for a long period of time. It will say based on the fundamentals whether or not a project correlates to the winners. And that's basically what the bot output will say is it based on the fundamentals, the math and the fundamentals, does this project look like a winner? There will be a long one and a short-term one. And the short-term will show you these base that are up to the 3 standard deviations. You're going to want to see the projects that look like the short-term winners. You're going to want to see the projects that look like the long-term winners. Obviously, this guy is going to be the short-term trading. This one's going to be the long-term holds, okay, between the short-term and the long-term bot. So this is what it uses. It uses math to figure that out, statistics, right? And, overlooking at the overall market, etc. All right. Finally, I'm going to provide the link below in the pinned comment, and basically it is to sign up for when it launches. Or you could look here, the explorer.intrepidgains.com, explorer.intrepidgains.com, and put your email to get notified when this thing launches. And this is the same strategy that I am using. And I'm taking this approach because I want to be 100x better than the competition. All right, later, guys.